Oh yeah, yeah. I think we still wait for Anders, uh, Nirmala or Dila. Anders already entered the.
Assalamualaikum. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, Dr. Fauzia. Yeah. This is Dr. Fauzia. My best friend from Malaysia. I think you also joined the fellowship in Denmark, yeah. 2018 or something.
Oh no, it was 2002, I think.
Oh, 2002. Oh,
Yeah,
you are older than me.
it's very, very long, but it was
Oh,
under MUSET, DUSET
I
program. Yeah,
see.
slightly different.
Yeah, yeah. So I think three of us, me, Dr. Fauzia, and Faris, three of us at least have been to Copenhagen, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so now it's already three. I don't know, maybe Anders. I sent email again because we have to admit the participant and uh, let me check. Do you have a PowerPoint, Paul?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, you will organize by yourself,
Yeah, I could try to share my screen and see if it works.
or you can send email to Nirmala. Could you uh, write your email in the chat box? Maybe Paul can send to you, and then you can help to organize the PowerPoint. Dr. Fauzia, you will organize by yourself?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And Faris
If
also.
it, if it, I have it here. If it works, I can
Yeah.
I can.
Oh, you wanna try? Okay, okay. Let's try. Okay. Nirmala, the the backdrop maybe yeah, change to yeah. Uh, uh, Anders have a difficulties to enter.
Okay.
Let me try to send again. Hmm. Anders, Nirmala, coba dicek ya, ada Anders nggak sih? Nggak ada ya? Not yet ya?
Not yet, Pak.
Oke. Hmm. Hmm.
You
Ayo,
see my presentation now?
not yet.
I try to share it.
Oh, you are try to share. Udah dikasih akses belum? Udah ya?
Done
Oke,
already.
already. If it's difficult for you, our team we can help you, Paul. You can
Yeah,
send your PowerPoint to email
Yeah, I
yeah.
already sent
Well, if,
Nirmala.
my email to Paul via chat box.
Oh, via chat box. Oke. Your email ya, Nirmala ya.
Yes, Pak.
Iya, mana ya di chat box?
Private chat box to
Oh,
Paul.
private chat box to Paul. Okay, okay. Sorry, sorry. Yeah. She send the private chat to you. I thought in the public. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Dila and Nirmala if entering the Zoom, just admit, yeah, both of you.
Can I try sharing mine?
Oh, yeah. You can
See
try
if it works.
yours. Yeah. You can try yours. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So let me see if I can put it into presentation slide.
Yeah. Presentation slide.
What's moving?
Yeah. Moving. Good.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is fine, I think. Because I always have problem with the computer. Sometimes it just doesn't flip. When I press to different slide, just
Yeah.
stuck on the same slide. So
Yeah.
maybe if that happens, please let me know.
Yeah. Of course, we help you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Faris, you want to try your PowerPoint if you want?
Yes, of course, please.
Yeah, you can share your PowerPoint. Okay.
If anyone can see on my screen,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Okay. Only Paul, yeah, we can try.
Yeah, I'm still struggling a little bit here.
Okay. Do you possible to send to Nirmala email, Paul, if possible?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
You sent me your email address on the chat, or?
Yeah, in the chat box of Zoom, private chat from Nirmala, my team. Yeah, Nirmala ya, di private ya. Atau bisa juga ke email saya kalau dikasih. harisuin@gmail.com. Sama aja sih.
Is it csinformation gmail.com?
Yeah. This is,
Or is it fitrian@niamala@gmail.com? That's the one.
yeah, which one? Cheese is okay, Nirmala okay. Which one you
Okay,
easier?
good.
Yeah,
Now I have it.
Nirmala is better because she's the one who organized.
Yeah, sure.
I just received email from Anders. He still couldn't join the Zoom. I don't know why. Because everyone can access. Yeah. Hmm.
I'll send mine now.
Send. Okay, Nirmala, do you receive it? Nirmala, you can.
Mr. Paul?
Yeah, this is you organize from your side, right? Okay.
Yeah, I will share more.
Okay, you
Sure.
will share. Yeah, she will help you.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's already 9 minutes. What? How to make Anders enter the? You contact with Anders, Paul?
I wrote with him the day before yesterday, but
Oh,
since
okay.
I have not.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I already resend the link 3 times, but looks
Okay.
like he couldn't. I don't know. Maybe there's a technical in his computer, or I don't.
Okay.
because the rest is participant now is already entering the room like 60, 59, 59. Maybe we can admit the participant first. We can turn off our video first. Maybe wait a bit for Anders. Is it okay? Okay. Anders, hello. You still mute? uh, you still you have to unmute the button and yeah.
There we go. All right. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I think
Good.
we start now because Anders already here. Please, Dila.
Hello, everyone. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome to the third session of our webinar series on e-waste management in ASEAN, regulation and implementation. My name is Adila Citranindya, Program Manager at the Center for Southeast ASEAN Studies Indonesia, and it is my pleasure to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's event. This webinar is organized by the Center for Southeast ASEAN Studies Indonesia in collaboration with the Danish Environmental Protection Agency and the Embassy of Denmark in Jakarta. We are also pleased to share that this event is being live streamed on GC's TV YouTube channel, allowing a broader audience to engage with today's discussion. This series highlights various aspects of sustainable waste management and circular economic effort in Southeast Asia. Today, in session third, we turn our focus to a critical issue in the region, regulatory framework and implementation practices for managing electronic waste, exploring how ASEAN member states can strengthen their system to address the growing e-waste challenge. Before we dive in, please remember to keep your microphone muted during the presentation and use the chat box for any question or comment at any time. There will be a dedicated Q&A session after the presentation where you can engage with our expert. To officially open our webinar, I would like to invite Mr. Anders Brodersen Jensen, Circular Economic Advisor at the Danish Environmental Protection Agency, to deliver his opening remarks. Mr. Anders, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ibu. And I'm so sorry about the technical issues. Maybe my computer should be turned into electronic waste. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the third webinar in our 2025 series on circular economy and waste management in the ASEAN region. As you said, my name is Anders Brodersen Jensen, and I'm an EPR and circular economy advisor at the Danish Environmental Protection Agency. The Danish Environmental Protection Agency, together with the Danish embassies in Thailand and Indonesia, has a strategic sector cooperation with the Ministry of Environment in both countries. This means that Denmark, Thailand, and Indonesia are committed to working together on strengthening waste management system and promote circular economy solutions in Thailand, Indonesia, and the ASEAN region. We do this in many ways by advising on legislation, supporting concrete initiatives such as training for waste banks, and sending key stakeholders from Indonesia and Thailand on intensive training courses in Denmark. And of course, we also do it by organizing webinars like this one, which we will hope inspire new ideas and facilitate meaningful dialogue about waste management problems. This webinar series is organized in close partnership with the Center for Southeast Asian Studies, CS. Throughout 2025, we have explored and will continue to explore different themes within circular economy and waste management, from behavior change and source separation to producer responsibility and recycling infrastructure. If you missed the first two webinars, you can watch them at the CS webpage. Today's focus is on a rapidly growing and increasingly urgent issue, the management of electronic waste or e-waste in ASEAN. E-waste is one of the fastest growing waste streams globally, increasing 5 times faster than the rates of which it is being recycled. This growth is driven by a rise in consumption of electronics, shorter product life cycles, and limited opportunities for repair. In 2022 alone, an estimated 62 million metric tons of e-waste were generated worldwide, yet only 22% of that was formally collected and recycled. In Denmark, as in many parts of Europe, we have developed extended producer responsibility systems that ensure safe collection and proper treatment and recycling of discarded electronics. Effective e-waste management not only prevents hazardous pollution, it also enables recovery of valuable materials, reduce the need for virgin resources, and support more circular and sustainable electronics value chains. So today we will explore what it might take to strengthen e-waste systems in an ASEAN context. What lessons can be drawn from Denmark and other countries with established frameworks, where barriers and opportunities exist for scaling up formal collection, promoting responsible recycling, and engaging both producers and consumers, and what enabling conditions, policy, infrastructure, or partnerships are needed to make these systems function effectively. To help guide this conversation, we are joined by an excellent lineup of speakers. We will hear from a representative of the Danish EPR system, who will share practical experiences from managing e-waste at a national scale. We will also hear perspective from the waste treatment industry in Indonesia, highlighting how e-waste can and should be treated in an environmentally responsible way. And finally, we will hear from the academic sector on how an effective e-waste system can be designed and implemented. And to guide us through it all, we have our very skilled and capable Dr. Arisman as our moderator. I'm very much looking forward to the exchange of ideas we will have today. Every country must design the solution that fits its own context, but learning from each other's successes and challenges can help accelerate progress. I encourage all of you to actually actively participate, ask questions, share your experience, and let us use this opportunity to think creatively about what a more circular and responsible e-waste management system could look like in the ASEAN region. Thank you once again for being here, and I hope you enjoy today's webinar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anders, for your insightful opening message. Next, I'm delighted to introduce our moderator for today's session, Dr. Arisman, Executive Director of the Center for Southeast ASEAN Studies Indonesia. He will guide the discussion and lead us through the presentation and dialogue this afternoon. Dr. Arisman, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Dila. And also thank you, Anders, for give a brief introduction about today's webinar. For all the participants, I believe you're coming from diverse background. When I saw the registration, it's interesting because not only from the academic, also there's from industry as well as from other I call it multi-stakeholders. So also there's from a government and there's was like from Philippines, from Indonesia, they join also in this webinar. I think since ASEAN is one of the region to the growing of the use of the digital technology, especially the younger generation as well. So this is brought a significant challenge, like the increasing of the volume of the electronic waste, which is not only threat to the environment as well as to the human health. Today we have a distinguished speaker from industry, academic, and also from Denmark. So I would like to start to call the speaker from Denmark, Mr. Paul Paulsen. Maybe you can also introduce yourself more, and people will know more. Please, Paul, you have like around 15 minutes or 20 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start by just introducing myself. I'm a specialist in elretur, which is the pro for electronic, the biggest pro for electronics in Denmark. And I would like to give you an introduction to how we work with the EPR in the Danish market. So I'm not sure. Can I move on in the presentation myself, or do I need help when
Yes,
I want to see a new slide?
you can next slide. Say next slide, right, Nirmala? Can help or
Yes, I can help you to share
Yeah.
the presentation. You can just say next, and then I will move to the next slide.
this?
Perfect.
Yeah.
But then let's move to the next slide. Yeah. You can say what I would like to introduce to you is the EPR and the circular economy, how we deal with that as a pro in the Danish market, and also a little bit of how we see the future for us. Knowing that there of course are a lot of steps in between, but just to give a little bit of inspiration on what we think we can manage and we can come to. So let's just move on to the next slide. My agenda here I've divided into two. You can say the extended producer responsibility. What are we taking care of when we're talking about we in Denmark, and then also how the circular economy affects the work that we do here in our country. Next slide, please. Yes, and the next one again. The requirements for us as an EPR in Denmark is that we have a registration obligation. You can say our owners and members are, you can say, the producers and importers of electronics into the Danish market, and we, on their behalf, have certain obligations that we take care of towards the authorities and also to inform about what we are doing. So we have a registration obligation where we do register, you can say, the volumes that is put into the market on the Danish market of electronics to DPA. It's called in Denmark Danish Producer Responsibility, and that's you can say a clearinghouse that works between us and you can say the EPA and take care of, you can say, all the data. We have the obligation to report and to report what is sold and what is collected and treated. And when we, of course, also have an obligation towards towards customers on how we dispose the products, how we take care of the products when it becomes scrap. Next slide, please. And what do we as a pro, you can say practical handle? We do the collection and the management of the waste. We typically collect from the municipalities' pickup places all around Denmark, and collect it there and manage it from there. We have the mandatory reporting, as I just mentioned, and the information. We also have a high degree of working with innovation and development. How can we improve the way that we handle, and how can we make the most efficient environmental treatment of the scrap by ensuring reuse and recycling, of course, and we also, you can say, handle financing and economic and scale, meaning that we charge our members with an environmental fee, and then we pay, you can say, the costs for treating it, and then we of course stand for guidance and advisory services as well. Next slide. The products that are subject to the we is, you can say, a European legislation, and we divide it into 6 different areas: the household appliances, the IT equipment, televisions, and you can say we call it small electronics. Here it's described with a hairdryer, light sources, and solar panels. That's the main areas that we that is in the we and what we take care of. Next slide. And who is then, you can say, covered by the EPR? If a company is the first to place a product on the Danish market, it holds a responsibility. So the responsibility on this area lies by the first one putting it to the Danish market, and that is that's independent whether it's a producer, importer, or distributor. So we typically say that we of course have the responsibility as the Danish manufacturers, its importers, its OEM and private label sellers, and it's also foreign distance sellers. As when you sell on the web, you to the Danish market, you also have the responsibility, even though you sell it directly to the end user, you must appoint and have an authorized representative in Denmark, and we take care of the data from there. Next slide. What is then our impact in the market? We are collecting and management 80% of the electronics and the batteries from the Danish municipality recycling centers, and we on a yearly basis collect around 57,000 to 60,000 tons of electronics, 2,300 tons of batteries, and we have more than 3,000 members in our system. The recycling of small IT and tele equipment is 84% of the total volume, which is pretty high. And if you go to small electronics, we recycle around 82%. In general, EV batteries, just to answer the question that came below, we have a separate EPR for batteries, so it's not part of the we setup. It's a battery directive now. Next slide. why does company then choose us as EPR? That has to do with that Elretur is a part of a family where we as our umbrella we call it Retur, and there we take care of electronic, of course. We take care of batteries. We take care of packaging materials. We are preparing now for a new directive that is coming on textiles. And we are also taking care of fishing material, all plastics coming from the fishing industry. We are also handling. So we are a family of EPRs, and we can then of course use our size to be more efficient, to have some shared services and things like that. So that means that if you are obliged to enter into a pro on different areas, you can have everything solved under one roof here by us. We are a non-profit company, meaning that we are owned by, you can say, our members. That is typical the distributors and importers of the products. And we are not put in the world to earn money. We are put in the world to handle this obligation that they have on an efficient and environmental friendly way. So that of course keeps our costs down. We are also that in the decision making, we are also influenced by the members, because they are taking care in different forums where they can put in their opinions, and we are of course running, giving advice to our members on what is coming, what is on the way, and so we can stay a little bit ahead. We have both European and also Nordic corporations, so that the companies that are active in more countries in Europe and in the Nordic, we can also help them with a more or less a one-stop shopping, taking care of the EPR in different countries. Next slide. We are delivering different, you can say, information material to our members. One of them is that we make a CO2 saving calculation, and we once a year, based on individual members' volumes, we give them an emblem, as you see here, where we can tell them how much CO2 have they saved in their company based on their volumes that they have put into market, and based on their volumes, how big a share of that has been recycled and reused. So that's an information that we give to our members, that they can put on their homepage, or they can use in their communication. Next slide. Then a little bit of the circular economy, and we of course over time see that we collect are affected by eco-design regulations and other new regulations coming in Europe, and we see right now that on different EPRs, you can say we get a graduated contribution that has to be paid by our members. Graduated meaning that if you put something on the market that is very more environmental friendly, you will have a reduced payment. If you put something on a market that is not environmental friendly, you will pay a higher contribution. So that's a graduated contribution that we see now being implemented on several of our EPRs. And we also feel from our members that they demand sustainable solutions, and they want to take part in this and do things better. And we do not just wait for the legislation on sustainability. It's a core element in our strategy to be ahead here. Next slide. Here you can see the historical focus in Denmark has been on recycling, and you can say the target that is set for us, and that's coming from EU, because the WE directive is on European level. So the target is set by EU, and they are typically increased a little bit year by year. But what you can see here on the different areas that we take care of, we are more or less in line with the EU target at the moment. But we of course also can see in the future, if we increase that even more, we will have a challenge to be in line with the EU targets. Therefore, we have looked into, you can say, what can be done, you can say, on top of the recycling activities that we do. Let's take the next slide. And here we look into reuse. We divide it between recycling and reuse. Recycling, where you take the product and you material, you can say, recycle it, or you take the product and you try to prolong the life of the product by repairing, by putting it back to market, by doing things that you can take out components that you can use directly in a new product or another used product. We see the need that we skip, you can say, the sharp dividing line between recycling and reuse, because we need to put more efforts in increasing reuse. If you saw my figures before, it was around 80% on most of the areas where we do the recycling today. That means that 20% is not being recycled. But if you instead of recycling, reuse it, you will have 100% recycling, because then it lives perhaps 5 years more, and you do not need a new product to replace it. And that's of course of interest, also to increase, you can say, the environmental treatment of the product. And therefore we say, of course, if you take on the right side of my screen, the waste protection is the waste prevention is of course the best thing to do to prevent it to become waste. The second best is reuse, because then you more or less also prevent, you can say, the waste. And then comes of course recycling, which is also good. And then you have energy recovery and landfill. That's you can say, luckily you can say in Denmark for electronics, that's very small volumes that goes into that area. But those new patterns where we focus more on reuse really demands a change in the way it's everything is treating in the whole channel of the product's life cycle, and we try to stimulate that, and we also set up things that can improve on that area. Let's take the next slide. We have installed here in Denmark the first, you can say, systematic first treatment facility, where we take out products before we send them to recycling. We do a pre-sorting of the products and take out what is relevant for reuse. And we do that in a central facility. So we have more or less industrialized it so that we do it in a systematic way. We have you can say the advantages that we are able to control the flow of the wheat when it comes into scrap, and we can take out products that we know demand a minimum of requirement to become, you can say, workable again and can be put back into the market. And we have set up a system with repair shops that can do it and can sell it back to the market with a warranty and take care that we prolong the life of a lot of products. We can also take out components. We can ensure high grade in the stream so that we do that in an efficient way. And then we have, you can say, a side benefit, that is that when we do this pre-sorting, we can remove batteries from many of those electronic products that we need to have separated from the electronic, and that's difficult if you do not do it in a systematic way. Next slide, please. Therefore, we have built our first, you can say, first treatment facility on Funen, and not many of you probably know what Funen is. Denmark is divided into 2 islands, and then we have a part of Denmark that is connected to the Central Europe, and Funen is the island lying centrally in Denmark. And there we have now, you can say, a factory taking care of this pre-sorting and identifying products for repair and reuse. And that means that we get a much more efficient recycling process, and we get less waste and better resource utilization. So that's very new. It's just opened here in October this year. We have also done this here in a smaller scale in the past, but now we have a facility that can handle in a more structured way. So that's we're looking forward to see that, and we expect that to give you can say another step up on what we are doing on the reuse and the recycling. I think that was the last slide. Let's try to take one more. Yeah, that was it. I don't know if I used too much time, but
Yeah.
Now we are there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Paul, for insightful presentation. Now we move to the second speaker, Mr. Faris from Indonesia, from the company called PT Mukti Mandiri. Please, Mr. Faris, the time is yours.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for the floor, and thank you for the invitation. Such a pleasure for us to be invited and to share about our experience in e-waste management, especially in Indonesia. I'm Faris. I'm representing Mukti Mandiri. We are e-waste recycling company. We are e-waste management company based in Bekasi, and we've been operating since 1997. And we handle the e-waste from collection, transportation, and until it's recycled and the recovery material being used by another industry for their raw materials. Let me share on my screen. Okay, great. Do anyone can see on my screen?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, regarding the waste management in ASEAN especially, we are trying to emphasize to an insight based on our experience and some of the regulatory frameworks that fits for the practices in Indonesia. There are some regulation about the law number 18 and 2008 about the waste management, and this is about the fundamental regulation regarding the e-waste management, regarding the waste management, including the e-waste. And then the law number 32 in 2009 about the environmental protection management. And for the waste itself in Indonesia, it's still categorized in the hazardous waste, and it could be a specific waste or sampah specific in Indonesia name. And also regarding the guideline about the how to handle the hazardous and the toxic waste, it is already regulated in the Ministry of Environment Regulations number 21 and in 2021. And also, if we are talking about the roadmap or the something kind of about the technical guideline or the strategical guideline, the circular economy has been packed into the Indonesia Circular Economy Roadmap and National Action Plan 2025 until 2045. And it has been launched by Ministry National Development Planning. And some brief of the regulatory implementation. And if you are talking about the Indonesia Circular Economy Roadmap and Action Plan, the one of the target sector is about the electronic sector, and the targets including 3 targets. It is about the enhancing circular input rate and longer term products and material usage, and also how to increase the recycling rate. And we Mukti Mandiri Lestari, we are trying to contribute in increasing the recycling rate, which is currently baseline in 2.61%. This is the least number than another nation maybe, and it would be have to increase time by time. And what kind of the strategies that we are trying to look after? We have 4 strategies at least, and most important thing, we try to implement the EPR regulation in Indonesia, which is currently still under development and trying to be socialized to all the stakeholders. And we are trying to have to build the circular economy infrastructure, and we promote the eco-design and product innovation, and also circular economy ecosystem development in EV sector. And this is the kind of the e-waste management practices. This is kind of the business process that run currently in our company. So we are we do not have any services for the household sector. So we are currently work for the business to business interaction model. So our role is as the transporter and then the collector and also exploiter. When we already recycle the material from the e-waste, it would be finished goods. The finished goods, it could be sell to the buyers as an off-takers. And here's some of the case study to collect the e-waste, especially from the telecommunication. We can pick one and as an example, for example, the PCB, when it already dismantled, it could be components. It would be separated into components and PCB boards, and when it would be recovered, it would be produce the metal and the residue itself. It could be we send them to the third-party processing plant, and we are actually partnering with the cement industry, which is they already have many kind of the waste code in their permits, so they can take all of those the residue and they leverage that kind of residue of firing, and it could be leveraged as the fly ash and bottom mesh, and where the fly ash and bottom mesh could be leveraged as the cement mixed material. And also for the metal itself, we could sell them to the buyer. And here's some e-waste material. Just for example, there are primary cable, personal computer, and also batteries. But currently, we are not accepting the batteries with set of health under 80%. And also the mobile phones, components, air conditioner, telecommunication scrap, and so on. And here's some e-waste machinery in our facility. Currently, we have dismantling facility, cable striping, and then smelting induction, PCB processing, and so on. And also here are some finished goods that we can produce in our facility currently. We already produce copper and aluminum, where the copper can be used as the raw material, where the secondary material has a good purity. It could be leveraged as the raw material for making a cable. And also we have some ferrous metal like steels, iron, and so on. And non-ferrous metal like aluminum, we send them the aluminum to the automotive industry, where they cast the aluminum into the car body for the structure. And also we got some plastics, but we are not concerned to handle the plastics. And by far in 2024, we collect and treat about 11,600 tons, and where it is mostly about 98%, it is coming from the telecommunication sector. And we are currently employ 400 people more, and we contribute to the national weed collection rate from the total 9 megatons generated. We just contribute about 0.61%. This is the small thing, but we are making sure that it could be increased time after time. And what about the stakeholder participation in e-waste management currently in Indonesia? Based on our experience and our knowledge by far, we have about 3 governments currently intensively talking about the e-waste management process in Indonesia. There are National Development Planning Agency, and then also Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Environment, which they has each platform to collect the data, and we can see the data in their platform, and where the existing platform collect the data from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer itself, they can doing some SIM to make sure that the post-consumer product, or maybe the waste coming from the destructed or the damaged product after consume, it could be take back to the manufacturer, and they can send the data to the existing platform. And about the weed collection and treatment, it could be separated into three sectors. There are recycler, collector, and transporter. But currently, Mukti Lestari can doing these 3 roles, 3 of them. And some of companies just has a permit, 1 of them or maybe 2 of them. And currently, if we can say about the e-waste management stakeholder participation, currently we are still not integrated. It is still fragmented. Every government institution, they has some concentration about the e-waste management, and the other are just concerning about some part, and another part doing something like that as well. So we have something to do to strengthen the stakeholder participation in waste management in Indonesia. So if we are talking about the strategic issues regarding the waste management, not only in the waste management treatment facility, we also has Bapenas, if we are talking about Indonesia Circular Economy Roadmap, this is the kind of things that we are really appreciate to the Bapenas. They are initiating the Indonesia Circular Economy Roadmap to make it clear that Indonesia has a good stand for the circular economy implementation, at least still from this year. And then regarding the standardization of e-waste management, it's also could be implemented in telecommunication sector, which is currently initiated by Ministry of Digital Affairs and Communication. And if we are talking about how about the regulation about e-waste management in Indonesia, it's totally clear. It is coming from the Ministry of Environment. And we are talking about the industrial collection, industrial practices regarding the waste management. It also could be implemented and integrated with the Ministry of Industry. And now this is the emerging issues regarding the EV components and battery waste management and processing, at least. And what is the key challenge regarding the waste management practices in Indonesia? If we can mention all of them, maybe 20 minutes is not enough to explain all of them. But we are just concerning about what are truly matters regarding the e-waste management practices in Indonesia. We already see that our government institution has doing a great job regarding the issues regarding the waste management. But the most important things is regarding the integration between them. So how to integrate every initiatives from government institution, non-government institution, or private sector. It could be collaborating each other, and we are making a good ecosystem regarding the circular economy implementation in Indonesia. So we are trying to get or trying to orchestrate based on the lesson learned for me personally, since we learned a lot from the FC scholarship regarding the EPR. So we need to establish at least the producer association body, which is currently has a significant role to make good things about the registration about the registry product without market. So it could be something kind of the projection, what kind of products that could be generated as the post-consumer products or maybe as the e-waste in the coming years. So we can count the e-waste generation every year. So with the valid data, which is currently should be integrated, and it should be provided by the government institution at least. And we keen to implementing the digital product passport. So we are really impressed with Denmark in doing the implementation of the digital product passport. So we hope that this kind of good things can be implemented in our nation, in our country, in Indonesia especially. So this is how can we strengthen the sustainable and circular e-waste management, as I said before in the previous slide. So we need to have to take a look to what are truly matters. It is about the data, about the valid data. How could we making a good platform that can provide the valid data? So every single stakeholder in the ecosystem can be works their initiatives with the certainty, because we need certain data regarding what kind of things that we should have to achieve every year, and what kind of things that we should have to achieve in the objectives, maybe about circular economy, circular rate, maybe circularity rate, about the recycling rate, about recovery rate, collection rate, and so on. Integrate at least all of those, the ministerial platform, at least from the government. So where we can make it as the single data window platform, where the single data window platform can be accessed by many stakeholders that permitted to open the platform, at least where the manufacturer can report the data, consumer can report the data, and also between the stakeholder can be interacted at each other. And also producer responsibility organization, as we said before, about producer association and collector and treatment. where the single data window platform, it could be projected to the open dashboard, which can be monitored by everyone who are concerning about the circular economy practices in Indonesia or in global. So I think it's all wrapped. Thank you so much for the time. So we are keen to discuss more in the discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Faris from PT Mukti Mandiri. We will discuss later. Maybe we move to the third speaker. We already heard from the company, e-waste company. Now, please, Professor Dr. Fauzia. She is expert on waste management from the University of Malaya, from the Faculty of Science. Please, Dr. Fauzia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Risman. Very good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to CSEAS for this invitation, and also to the collaborators, Ministry of Environment of Denmark and also Embassy of Denmark in Jakarta. It's a real pleasure to at least share the perspective from Malaysian side. Okay, so let me share my slides. So we can start from there. Okay. Okay.
Can you
So
make yeah, okay.
okay, so I'll be talking about the e-waste management from the Malaysian perspective, and the focus would be on the regulation, on the implementation. Okay, before we start, maybe I should introduce a little bit about myself. Okay, I am from the Center for Research in Waste Management from the Faculty of Science, University Malaya. I also belong to the Institute of Biological Sciences, so we do research related to waste management, and e-waste and hazardous waste is among them. All right, and of course we welcome any collaboration should there any interested collaborators around. Okay, for today's talk, I'll be discussing a little bit on the definition of hazardous waste in Malaysia, why it's a bit different from the rest, so you would be able to understand why e-waste has so much complication when we talk about its management. Then I will share a little bit on the legislation of the e-waste management itself, followed with the current regulations, what about the import of e-waste, and what is happening now on the future proposed draft and such. Okay, on the definition of hazardous waste in Malaysia, we call hazardous waste as scheduled waste. All right. Basically, it is defined as any waste that comes under the 107 waste category. Okay, they are listed in the first schedule of the regulation. So it covers all the 4 criteria of ignitability, corrosivity, reactivity, and toxicity. As for those that falls under those category, then they are considered as scheduled waste. And under the management of scheduled waste, it falls under the Environmental Quality Act 1974, which governs the pollution control and hazardous waste coming from industries. For your information, in 1974, when Malaysia is developing in industrial sector, more importance or more focus are given to the industrial sector, how this industrial sector, the waste coming from this industrial sector can be managed accordingly. So this is the reason why Environmental Quality Act in general in Malaysia actually applies to those waste or those components which relates to industrial activity. And it was later amended to strengthen the enforcement and so on. In fact, the latest was last year. I will explain a little bit more in a bit. As for the core regulations for scheduled waste, it comes under the Environmental Quality Schedule Waste Regulation 2005. Okay, and then we have specific ones that looks into prescribed premises regulations, that is on the Environmental Quality Prescribed Premises Order 1989 and also Regulations 1989. Other supporting regulations includes the Environmental Quality Control of Pollution from Solid Waste Transfer Station and Landfill, Regulations 2009. This is the one regulations which comes under EQA 1974, which does not imply directly for industrial activities, but rather more on the municipal side, okay, municipal waste management. Aside from that, we also have Environmental Quality Industrial Effluent Regulations 2006. This is relevant in dealing with sludge that becomes scheduled waste, sludge which are contaminated with components listed in the schedule. Other related legislation includes the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, Road Transport Act 1987 on the transportation of the hazardous material, and also the Basel Convention on the transboundary movement of hazardous waste and its management, which are implemented through EQA and also the schedule waste regulations. As for the Basel Convention, Malaysia ratified this convention on 8 October 1993, and later on ratified the Ban Amendment on 26 October 2001. As for Environmental Quality Schedule Waste Regulations, it came into operation in 2005, where it sets more stringent regulations. At that time, we are facing a lot of issues related to illegal dumping, not only specifically on e-waste, but also in general other types of hazardous material coming from the industrial sector. So this amendment was made in 2005 to address the issue related to illegal dumpings. However, it still failed to tackle issue related to household hazardous waste, where it doesn't have any clause which relates into this household hazardous waste. And we are all aware that the major components that comes from the households when we talk about hazardous waste is basically e-waste. So this is not actually comes under this schedule waste regulation. When we talk about schedule waste regulations, it requires notification to the Department of Environment within 30 days, okay, from the industry, and they are supposed to manage the waste as prescribed in the schedule waste regulation, where storage should not exceed 180 days in a quantity not exceeding 20 metric ton. Okay, yet this is somewhat because of the lack of enforcement, we do feel this is a real challenge for the government in actually properly managing schedule waste among industrial players. So the latest amendment to EQA 1974 was actually conducted last year with the Act A1712, where it was passed in the Parliament by in 2024 and published in June 2024. This amendment looks into updating certain definitions such as open burning. Okay, it also increased penalty because before the amendment, penalty was quite how do I put it? It's quite weak in a sense that industry do not take it very seriously because they are able to afford the penalties and you know and still commit some you know they are still do not comply with the law. And aside from that, this act is also meant to strengthen the enforcement power for the environmental officer, particularly on the waste-related offences. Because in 2024, the major issue in Malaysia related to scheduled waste is the illegal dumping of waste and how e-waste is also being dumped indiscriminately. Okay, and this allows EQA to remain as the legal backbone for hazardous waste and pollution control, particularly in scheduled waste management. This is to give you some idea, the generations of scheduled waste in Malaysia. The largest contributor is from Selangor because of the highest or the most dense industrial activity, followed by Pahang and Johor. And basically, according to the Act, all scheduled waste needs to be separated and coded accordingly. And this graph here shows you the trend on the total waste, total hazardous waste being generated. Okay, that is the orange color line. Okay, and then we have the quantity of hazardous waste managed using 4R. Okay, so that is shaded with blue lines. Okay, and then we have the quantity of hazardous waste disposed by incinerator. That is colored with a red line. And the last one, the quantity of hazardous waste disposed at sanitary landfills. That is colored as a green line. So you can see that over the years, it is on the rise, and then in 2024, it started to drop. This is very much related to the activity that happens in the country, particularly, influenced by the economic capacity of the country. As for the quantity of hazardous waste which actually undergo 4R, we are seeing a positive trend whereby, we are seeing more and more of these hazardous waste, particularly e-waste, being channeled away from disposal, for it from sending into landfill or incinerator. So this is to give you an idea that electric and electronics waste contributing approximately 6.25% of the total scheduled waste generated. Okay, so this industry play a critical role, and we are seeing that in the future it's going to be expanding, for the fact that this is the IT era, and electronics and electrics and electronics plays a very critical role to ease our convenience in our daily activity, and thus this would definitely promote more users in getting all these electrical appliances and such. So with that, legislation related to e-waste management in Malaysia was found to be irrelevant, in a sense that we are expecting, we are seeing in the future that household e-waste going to be increasing, but it is not actually covered in any part of the environmental quality schedule waste regulations. So this is one of the major challenge at that time, in 2005. Okay, and then in e-waste management is also not properly taken care of, in a sense that collection wise was only done voluntarily by industries. It is not mandated as part of the as part of the law, that the government is looking at it as a real challenge. Okay, currently the government is looking into establishing the EPR and also the circular economy roadmap. However, the priority is more on addressing issue related to plastic, particularly plastic packaging. But e-waste is also placed as one of the priority stream, which will be looked into since this roadmap is supposed to be done phase by phase. We are also seeing that the government is looking into coming out with new act. Okay, so now we are having e-waste management bill being drafted. So the current regulations that exist in Malaysia, we have the Environmental Quality Schedule Waste Regulations 2005 being the core regulation that covers e-waste, especially coming from industry and commercial, and it is coded under SW110. And under this legal framework, any industry must register with the Department of Environment so that their waste generation and disposal can be tracked, okay, and monitored, so that their e-waste will only be sent for disposal or for management or for treatment purpose only to licensed facilities. As for the transboundary movement of electrical and electronic equipments, it is regulated under the guidelines for the transboundary movement of used electrical and electronic equipments in Malaysian perspective. And DOE, the Department of Environment, maintains licensing and also control for e-waste management under the Environmental Quality Act 1974 still, and under this amendment. So under SW110, e-waste is defined as waste from electrical and electronic assembles containing components such as accumulators, mercury switches, glass from cathode rays, tubes, and other activated glass or polychlorinated biphenyl capacitors, or contaminated with cadmium, mercury, lead, nickel, chromium, copper, lithium, silver, manganese, or PCB. This is the very large scope, trying to address as much as possible those waste related to electric and electronics industry. And in 2024, approximately 55,000 metric tons of waste are being generated, contributing to 1.03% of the total schedule waste being produced in the country. As for under the Act, imports of hazardous waste, particularly e-waste, is still allowed. Okay, however, it needs to be done with strictly following the guidelines for the classification of used electrical and electronic equipments in Malaysia, okay, which was published in 2008, where Malaysia allows the imports of electronic and electrical equipments to the country for direct use. For example, we do imports in second-hand electrical appliances like even computers and even EV, electronics car or electric cars. But it should not be more than 3 years from the date of its manufacturer. So it should be considered as within the use, within a very sustainable use. If it's too old, then it's not allowed to be imported. So these are some of the types of e-waste being generated in Malaysia. We have the what I call the PCB, and also mobile phones and equipments coming from computer and such, right? And we are seeing that after 2018, when China imposed the banning on dirty waste, including plastics, e-waste actually starts to flood into other countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. So this has resulted with a real huge challenge for the Department of Environment to actually look into the proper management of e-waste in particular. What happens was that containers which consist of or contain e-waste coming from various parts of the world, Europe and the US, were illegally entering our ports, okay, ended up as scrap metal So as a result to this being the fact that in the country, we have very limited facility that has the capacity to actually recycle materials coming from e-waste because they require special handling. Thus, this resulted with huge problem to the environment, in particular because of the pollution emitted from these dumping sites. So this is just a typical snapshot in a warehouse, particularly the illegal ones, where dismantling was done manually and in a very what I call unsafe condition. So what we are seeing now that the government is looking into this matter more seriously and has been coming out with a newly proposed e-waste law, which is dedicated to cater for e-waste rather than putting it under, as part of other regulations. So as October, just last month, the government is working on a new regulatory framework called the e-waste management mechanism, which was meant to look into the handling, the management, and the disposal of electrical and electronic waste in Malaysia from cradle to grave, to look into it in a circular, from the concept of circular economy, from the very beginning of its production to the very end of its life. So this includes all types of electrical appliances, TV, washing machine, mobile phones, PCs, and such. And this framework is meant to be working together, aligned with the extended producer responsibility scheme, whereby the generator or the manufacturer are supposed to have a very critical role to play in order to assist the end of life management of their product. However, it's yet being formally enacted. It is still under drafting. And as for household e-waste, it is still on a voluntary basis because of the challenge to impose even among industry player. So for householders, the challenge is much more greater. So it takes the government sometimes to move into also managing e-waste coming from household. So so that is the current situation in the Malaysian perspective in the country. So with that, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to answer a question should there be any. Thank you very much. Back to you,
Yeah.
Dr. Risman.
Thank you, Dr. Fauzia, for your presentation. Now we come to the Q&A session. I would like to pick up the question from the chat box. We start from the question for Paul. For the recycling percentage, does it include waste that were exported? If yes, how are those exported waste tracked into ensure safety and responsible recycling? Yeah, please, maybe. Paul, you can respond.
Yes, you can say in the Europe legislation set restrictions on how to export. You can say the scrap, the weed scrap. If you want to you can move, you can say, the scrap between the countries in Europe, but to do so you need a notification both from the authorities in your own country and in the country that will receive it. And that means that to have this, you can say, this approval from the country that should receive it, it needs the authorities to accept it first. And that means that when you do that export, it's typically for, you can say, for companies that are handling the scrap, that are melting the scrap into recyclable new material and things like that. We do not have, you can say, in Europe a trading of scrap in that respect. It's more or less only for, you can say, the further treatment of the scrap that we are exporting, and the legislation is pretty strict here. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Maybe I move to the second question for Mr. Faris. Based on your recent study in Denmark, what are the applicable lessons learned for apply EPR in e-waste Indonesia? Please, Mr. Faris.
To Mas Dodi for the question. So it's really nice to catch up with you, even though it's virtually. So based on visit to Denmark regarding the EPR, there's so many things, lesson learned that can be implemented in Indonesia actually. But as I said before in my previous slide, the two things that are really matter or it could urgently needed in Indonesia is the establishment of the data benchmarking in Indonesia, because currently we are still do not have any certain data regarding the e-waste generation data. We are still not sure if it's 2 million tons per year, or maybe 1.9 million per year, or even it's 1.8 million per year. So many organization or maybe government institution has a different kind of data regarding on this. So it could be great if we can start with developing the data platform that could be collect the valid data from based on the product put on market. So that's why the first things that could be recommend to our government, first of all, is to establish the producer to producer body. So it could be handle the registry as the DPA did in Denmark, and they done many things regarding on this, and so that's why currently we see Denmark as a good role model for this. But it is not only we are just implementing. So we need to orchestrate based on the Indonesian context. So after that, we can talk many things about the EPR implementation if we have a certain data. So thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Faris. The next question is still for you. This is from Wong Puyi. Does Indonesia allow the import of e-waste? Which regulation mentioned this? Could you respond this, please?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you to Ms. Puyi for the question. Actually, this is the hardest question that so far, because it is kind of things about the regulation. Unfortunately, I cannot represent the government side, but based on our experience regarding operation of the e-waste, it is mostly prohibited, because currently e-waste are classified as the hazardous and toxic, or it could be classified as the material that heavily contains of the metal or the mercury, or maybe something else regarding the toxic material or the hazardous material. So if we can elaborate with another regulation from the Ministry of Industry, it will be great that if we not importing the e-waste, but it will be permitted if we imported the dismantle e-waste. So it is not the e-waste actually, but it's that kind of the scrap that already dismantled and separating, and it should be doing some assurance that it is not containing the heavy hazardous or toxic waste material. So that's the kind of things that I can answer by far. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Again, still for you, Mr. Faris. I try to combine these two questions. The first question is about the requirement or the procedure to become a client. Is there any minimum tonnage needed for e-waste collection? And then the second one, is your company take e-waste from the consumer? So this is, I think, you can combine this question together. Yeah, please.
Of course, we are likely to answer.
Yeah.
Thank you to Mr. Pajoni and to Mbak Tarina for the questions. First of all, I have to answer to Pajoni's question. Unfortunately, currently we do not have any services regarding the household e-waste management collection due to the minimum operations that we have to do in the e-waste collection, handling, and something else. But we used to be partnering with the LH or the municipal government regarding the e-waste collection. We use partner in 2019, I think, but it just can be run only for 1 year. Actually, it is not sustainable things because we consider we still struggle about the e-waste collection if we should have to collect the e-waste to household one by one, and we should have to collaborate with the municipal organization or government institution to make sure that e-waste can be collected in the one point or in the one drop of point. When it would be fulfilled as our minimum operation to be collected, it will be great. So we can use that the kind of scene for working to collect the e-waste from the household. So currently, if we directly collect the e-waste from household, unfortunately we are not. But hopefully in the future we can collaborate each other with another NGO or maybe with the government organization. And also for Ms. Tarina's question regarding the minimum of tonnage, actually we just setting up the minimum of tonnage about 4 tons. It based on our permitted vehicle or permitted trucking that currently we have so far, but it is not limited if we can collect the least one with the least number from the tons, but the price itself, just following the minimum of the operation, could be mandated. So if we want to talk each other about the things regarding the technical aspect regarding on this, so just feel free to chat me or to contact. Thank you.
Thank you, Faris. The next question now goes to Paul. How much the cost to establish the e-waste collection and processing system, and who pay? Please,
Interesting.
please, Paul.
I understand the question. So as you as a company want to enter the system, I hope that's what's meant with it. If you can say we are the pro, and we are financed, of course, by the activities that we do, by the waste management and the handling of this for our members. To become a member here, you can say you pay in two different ways. You pay a yearly contribution to be a part of our system, and that's not you can say very expensive. It's here a yearly fee that you pay on 1,500 Danish crowns. That's the same as 200 euros. So that's what you pay, and all pay the same. Then you pay, you can say, an environmental fee on the products that you put into market. But we are in the lucky situation that many of the sections that I showed you in my presentation, we are able to handle and get so much recycling and get so well paid for the scrap that we take out, that the environmental fee is 0 krona. So you do not pay any environmental fee. But on some of the areas you pay a fee, and that is set, you can say, by the members once a year. What has to be paid on it, and it's not very high numbers that you pay, but you pay then per piece or per kilo, and that's what finance, you can say, the system.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
The next question is for Dr. Fauzia. The question is, what does it mean to manage e-waste using 4R? Please, Dr. Fauzia, 4R.
Okay. 4R actually refers to the waste management hierarchy. So we have 4R. The first R is reduce, second R is reuse, the third R is recycle, and the fourth is recover. Basically, when we talk about reduction, is to minimize waste generation, either through cleaner production, eco-design, improving its efficiency, basically from the manufacturing stage. Okay, so it's also allow reduction in the consumption from the consumer aspect. As for reuse, is basically to extend the product lifespan, either through repairing, refurbishing, or reutilizing it for other function. Okay, before it goes for disposal. The third R is recycle. It's the usual recycling concept where we are imposing in order to promote circular economy. All right, where materials are dismantled, okay, processed, and then converted back into secondary material for manufacturing line again, and back into the economy. And the idea is to reduce the amount of disposal and also conserve the resources. And the last R, the fourth R, basically refers to recovering. Okay, recovering looks into recovering energy or the resource itself, okay, which would transform the material into a different component. For example, recovering energy would result with plastic from e-waste being converted into melted plastic and energy, from electricity, heat, and so on, through incineration process and so on. And when they undergo this heat or thermal treatment, it would also produce byproducts, and these byproducts would include metals component which melted and also accumulated in the bottom ash. So these can be recovered, can be extracted, especially the metal component, extracted out as secondary material as well. So these are the 4R that comes under the Environmental Quality Act 1974.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Risman.
Thank you, Dr. Fauzia. The next one is this question goes to Paul and Dr. Fauzia. The question is how does the e-waste collection system from the household to e-waste recycling or processing facilities in Denmark and Malaysia. Is the local government responsible for managing e-waste? Are there any penalties for people who dispose e-waste informally or yeah? I think we can start with Paul.
Yes.
Denmark experience.
You could say the system in Denmark is that we collect, you can say, most of the electronic waste on the municipalities' pickup places. And if you start at the household, at the consumer, we have in many municipalities we have, you can say, a pickup solution where they drive trucks around, and you can just put out your scrap on the road, and then they pick it up and take it to the collection place in the municipality. And you can deliver it yourself on the municipality pickup places. And when it enters the municipality pickup places, we take over as a pro. And we, with our operators, collect the electronic on the municipality pickup places, put it to our operators' central places where they handle it. And then they will typically, you can say, treat it as scrap or prepared for reuse in those facilities. And then you can say it goes into a shredder, or it moves on to another facility that make the recycling treatment of it. So you can say we as producer owned company have the responsibility to take care of it. It's not the government that have the responsibility to manage that. They control that the system is running, and they of course you could say follow up on what is handling in the clearinghouse regarding volumes and things that. But the practical thing is handling via the municipality pickup places, and then we take over, and then we do the rest. We have in Denmark no penalty if you dispose it wrong or do not dispose it. Of course, you have a penalty if you just leave it on the road or leave it in the forest or something like that. That's of course illegal, and then you'll get punished. But we do not have a system where we say if you do it wrong, then it has a cost.
Yeah, maybe we can also learn from Malaysia. Dr. Fauzia, please.
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, I will answer the last question first. Okay,
Okay,
quite
please.
similar as what happened in Denmark. In Malaysia, we do not have any penalty for those who did not dispose it properly. The reason is because there is no law to tell that it's not allowed. So this is the reason why no penalty is actually on this. In fact, in Malaysia, e-waste is being collected, is being sent to the right center or the recycling facility on a voluntary basis. It is actually run by either NGOs, non-government agencies, or some government agency like DOE. They would open up a small station so that any consumer want to discard their e-waste can do so. Aside from that, it is also a practice of take back system by shops that actually sells electrical products. So they do take back and give you small discount for the waste that you send to them. Some give big discount, for example, like HP, because it really wants to, this company really wants to promote this take back system.
Take back system.
Yeah, but some company, they just take it for the sake of clean up the environment to reduce the mess. So they do give a small amount of what I call discount for that purpose. So all of this is actually on a voluntary basis. There is no regulations that states that you are supposed to send here or anywhere. So and we also have small vendors going around collecting e-waste from household, in a small lorry. They would, give a special music to tell, okay, we are coming to collect. So if you have any of this, you can sell it to us. So that is again also on a voluntary basis. We do not have a specific system at the moment to assist in collection of e-waste from household. So it is done purely on voluntary basis. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Faust. Yeah. Now the next question to Faris from Mukti Mandiri. The question I think is very but it's okay. Is it feasible for e-waste recycling industry? Could you explain, maybe not in details, about economic production margin from e-waste recycling industry? Yeah, feel free to respond, Faris, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for another kind of difficult question that asked for me. Actually, if I can refer to one of slide that that was presented by the one of speaker in Copenhagen. It is regarding the what kind of things that should be considered in a waste management company regarding the operation. So many kind of things that we should have to spend for our operations. It is related to the permit. It is related to the collection, where the collection itself. It is not talking. It is not only talking about the warehouse. It is also talking about the transportation, and then for the ship rate and something else like that. And also about the e-waste machinery treatment plant, and about the production costs, and many things regarding the e-waste operation should be considered in our business. But on the other hand, if it's in Denmark, now I take a note. If it's in Denmark, it is going work more. It is going well because they already has the EPR fee, waste fee, and something like that. But unfortunately, in Indonesia, it is still not already implemented due to the EPR regulation. It's still under development, and then the EPR regulation is not already implemented yet. So currently, we are just keen for the recovery material fee. It means that if we already handle the e-waste and then we dismantle them and we separate them into the material based on the contents, based on the material contents on it, we just can sell them as the recovery material. So if you ask me, is it feasible or not? It depends. It depends on what kind of things that you're already going through with your business in e-waste management. Because as I said before in the previous slide, the e-waste management, there's so many permits, and 3 of them that we already equipped currently are the transportation as a transporter, and then the collection. We have a warehouse also what already has a permit, which is AMDAL, and then we are also having the machinery, so we can be qualified as the recycler. So it depends on what is your playing field. Will it be in the waste management business?
Yeah, this is another one to Faris from Indonesia. Most of e-waste in Indonesia is managing by informal sectors, e-waste recycling industry still get most of the supply from this sector. According to the law in Indonesia, only who had the license who can collect, transport, and process it. But the practice is the opposite one. We are still relying on to informal sector on the supply. What is your suggestion to ensure the supply are well managed by licensed company? Please, it's an interesting.
Yeah, for sure. This question could be strengthened, actually somehow could be strengthen our company as the licensed company who can collect and doing some e-waste treatment, which is we already equip the license. But I'm to be more, I'm trying to be more objective to have another perspective. Yes, if we are talking about the license, it should be done like that, because we are talking about the e-waste, which is currently classified as the B3 or as the hazardous and toxic waste. It could be it should be treated as it should be, based on the permit and based on the license, which is already audited and already monitored year by year from witnessing, and then from the data manifest or something else like that, based on the regulation that already implemented. But on the other hand, I personally think can also collaborate with the informal sector, trying to integrate them into the system, at least. So we are not anti to their implementation, because currently, if we are talking about the economy, the illegal or the informal sector is already done on it, because they already implement the circular economy very well, but unfortunately they don't have a license and they don't have any permit to doing something about the e-waste management, and they're not have investment to have the to have the proper facility to process the e-waste. So my suggestion personally is, how could we collect the data? Which one is currently working? Sorry, there's some problem with my light, so I have to off cam for a while. So we have to work with them, and if we are trying to have the incentive, it will be great. So we can incentivize them to be educating, to educate them, and to make a standardization, to make them is going to the standardization as it should be. But on the other hand, if they are not able to follow the standardization, at least they can be treated on, they can be integrated to the something that it is not really needed for the permit, for the special permit. So it is just a matter of the mindset, where should we put the informal sector to be collaborate with us in regards to doing the circular economy implementation in Indonesia. So that's I think. So I think we can have another solution about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting discussion. Again, because the limit of time, and also there's a participant join in YouTube. Looks like again, unfortunately, we couldn't accommodate all the question, but feel free if you want to contact like Faris, Paul, or Fauzia directly. We can share, if they okay, we can share their contact, and then you can discuss by email, and also other alternative one. Before we end this session, I would like to give an opportunity to all distinguished speaker, at least 2 or 3 minutes, to give like not closing remarks, but like, because this discussion is about e-waste management in ASEAN regulation implementation. So after we heard about all the issue, and also like mentioned about the no collection to the household and everything, so I think we can start with Paul. You have 3 minutes, Paul,
Yeah,
to share
thank
with
you.
us your perspective on how the e-waste management in ASEAN should be looks like in the future. Maybe like that. Please, Paul.
No, but first of all, thank you very much for having me and letting me share our experience here from the Danish system. It's been very fruitful for me as well to hear about what is going on in your countries. And I think I touched on it also in my presentation. I think we still, independent of how far you have come in the different countries, we still have a lot of challenges to take care of in the future. And you can say the pure collection of e-waste and the responsibility that we all share, because we all can see that it is important that we get a grip on that. You can say becomes very much connected also now to the eco design and to what is coming in the future from the circular economy, as I also touched on, and that goes for all of us. That there are a lot of things that we just are starting to experience how to deal with, and therefore it's also interesting always to share. You can say share what has been accomplished and what have we been doing, and what will be the next steps for us in Europe. You can say the percentage of recycling is relatively high, but there are still a lot of areas where we can improve and we can do better. And that we will see, and that you also will see in your countries for many years to come, that there will be a lot of new challenges. But I think what I also hear and see here from the presentations and the discussions, that you are on a good way to deal with this, and I'm looking forward to follow that also in the future. So thank you much for your attention today and listening to me.
Yeah, thank you also, Paul, for your sharing and insightful presentation. Maybe Faris, please.
Thank you. Maybe this is the closing statement I have so far. If you're talking to think or to implement the circular economy, it should be done as it the etymology of words, the circular. There has to something circular to run the economy. So we have to try to make something run circular, and to list the waste as soon as possible, and as far as it, just because the waste itself, it is not waste. It's actually the precious material, the valuable material, but it is unhandled material. So we have to run the circular economy practices as good as we could, as good as we could. In the future, we have a future collaboration between us, even though in this kind of discussion. So we are pleased to be invited here, and also thank you so much for CSEIS for the invitation, and also for the Denmark Embassy in Jakarta, and the ministry from Denmark for the facility. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Faris, for your sharing, especially from the industry perspective. Now, the last but not least, brief, Professor Dr. Fauzia, your say, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Risman. I think I would like to echo what we have discussed a little bit just now, that in ASEAN, we have a lot of challenges that we have to tackle. So we have, in some countries, we are seeing that we have some kind of legislation, but it is somewhat hindered with the fact that they are fragmented by different institution and it's not working aligned with the economic capacity within the country. So this can make a proper e-waste management a huge challenge for the country. Not to mention the fact that among developing countries, informal sector play a very crucial role in extracting these resources from waste. So, taking that away from them can be also quite challenging. Aside from that, yes, we do have issue related to weak data system. Okay, and in many countries, the same issues related to limited enforcement capacity is visible, is evident. So these are the things that needs to be properly addressed, so that we can look forward into having a better or more sustainable e-waste management. Perhaps by looking at successful stories such as what happens in Denmark, for example. Okay, I believe in ASEAN we need very strong legislation, and also this should come aligned with the clear producer responsibility. So EPR needs to play a very significant role here. Aside from that, perhaps on the transparency in terms of data collection, just to highlight, maybe I think it's also applicable in other developing countries. In Malaysia, recycling sector, it's not really transparent in the sense that they are, not to say they are done illegally, but they are not done legally, that they are going to report, sharing information related to amount that they have collected, the revenue, and so on. So this makes things very difficult when it comes to planning. So perhaps this is another issue or another area that we have to look into. And also, more importantly, we need to have a more well-developed consumer collection system. So with this, perhaps we can see in the future, e-waste management in ASEAN can be more reliable and more sustainable. With that note, I would like to again express my appreciation to the organizers for providing this platform for me to share a little bit of my knowledge to all of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Fauzia. I don't want to conclude, but I want to highlight mentioned by Dr. Fauzia about strong regulation in ASEAN, data transparency, and the last one, a better collection system. So I think this session we can learn from each other as well as from all the participants as well. Unfortunately, due to the limit of time. Again, please give all the big applause for all the distinguished speakers. So I would like to hand over back to our Master of Ceremony, Miss Dila, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arisman, for excellent moderating throughout the session. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close today's session, we would like to invite all speakers, our moderators, and participants to turn on your camera for a group photo. Our team will take a few screenshots, please. Okay, we will wait for 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Okay, be ready. On the count of 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for everyone who participated. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of today's seminar, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to our moderator, the speaker, and all participants for your active engagement throughout the session. Your insights have greatly enriched our discussion on strengthening e-waste management across ASEAN. We invite you to stay tuned for the final webinar in this series. More information will be shared soon. For those who wish to revisit today's session, the recording will be available on the GC's TV YouTube channel. Thank you once again for joining us. Have a wonderful day and see you in the next session. Thank you.